troubles show that you need God, and may your battles in the way they should, and may your bad days prove that God is good, and may your whole life prove that God is good. See, may your struggles keep you near the cross, and may your troubles show that you need God, and may your battles in the way they should, and may your bad days prove that God is good. See, may your whole life prove that God is good. See, may your struggles keep you near the cross, and may your troubles show that you need God, and may your battles in the way they should, and may your bad days prove that God is good. See, let your whole life prove that God is good. Thank y'all so much for coming out. May your bad days prove that God is good. May your whole life prove that God is good. See, may your bad days prove that God is good. Come on. May your whole life, yeah.
Como tú en la tierra, oh Señor, hermoso, inigualable es tu valor, y nada en este mundo saciará. Jesús, tu copa no se secará. Tu presencia es el cielo para mí. Oh, tu presencia es el cielo para mí. First in Adam, our first sin. Mercifully you entered and be exalted. Be exalted. To display your ways are just. You sent Christ to die for us. And now His name is what we just be exalted. As your people proclaim, we say, Lord, you are the Holy One. The light of your presence leaves sinners undone. But clothed in the righteousness of His love. In love you bid us to come. Be exalted. Mindful of your holy wrath. Jesus walked the righteous path. Heaven on our behalf. Be exalted.
Hey everybody, welcome. I see a number of you guys are already in, and it's good to see you guys. Hey Stephanie, it's good to see you. Glad your week is going slow. I don't know, my week has not gone slow. Yesterday was a hard one for me. So it's good to see everybody. Caleb's good to see you. Adam, what's up with the toilet paper? I don't get the toilet paper. Are you out? Adam, are you out of toilet paper? Because we can hook you up. We've got some. Stephanie. Yeah, so you guys see I'm outside. I've decided to change up a little bit again. Tired of being in the house. Hopefully you guys are doing the same. Changing up your rhythms a little bit. And so hopefully none of my neighbors will start cutting the grass. But this is real, right? I mean, this is how it is raw. So I just want to give you a heads up. Our internet has been spotty. And so hopefully the stream will come in smoothly, but it might not. Sarah is also having some issues, and so if there's some issues, just know that it's Xfinity's fault, not our fault. Is it Xfinity or Comcast? I'm not sure. Comcast. Okay. It's my wife. She's joined us. She hates the camera. Say hi, everybody.
Hi. I just
Okay.
did.
Okay, you did. Okay. So, anyways, before I pass it on to Sarah, I just want to give context for our time. As you know, during this time of social distancing, we're separate as a church, not able to gather on Sundays and see each other physically, which is such an important part of our community, of our church, of any church. But praise God for technology, we're able to at least see each other. And we felt as a leadership team, as a church staff, that we want to have some touch points. So we've chosen a midweek moment where we can touch each other as a church, and on Sundays it's really hard to do a lot of that, and so we wanted to carve out some time on Wednesdays, just 20 to 30 minutes, could be 15 minutes, whatever, just time to give other people in our body a chance to share a testimony, a word of encouragement, maybe some ups and downs, and so I want to share with you just a word of encouragement as we get started from Psalm 46, something that I've been really meditating on. Good question was on the community board, is what verses have given you life, and this is one that's been encouraging to me. Psalm 46:1 says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear." And I just love that powerful therefore in verse 2. We won't fear, though the earth gives way. And I know a lot of times through all this, it gets kind of old being in the house, and there's a lot of fears. People are literally dying, and it's a scary time. But church, I just want to encourage us not to fear. Though we fear, not to be afraid, because our God is a refuge. And that's not something that's abstract. That's real. God is a refuge. So just lean on Him, and that's what I've been trying to do these last few weeks. And so, without any more words from me, I want to pass it on to Sarah. Sarah, thank you. Let me get Sarah in here.
Hey, can everybody hear me? Oh, am I audible? Here I am. Oh, okay. I know last time we didn't hear me right away, so send out a chat. I'm in. All right, excellent. So I'm outside because I didn't have good connection and couldn't see or hear anyone. So I'm just hoping that I won't miss what you guys say, but if I do, please forgive me. Really, I'm excited to see y'all's faces. Like right now, they're really little on my screen, but it's still just any kind of human interaction. I'm desperate for it. But kind of seconding what Ali said, I think some of us might be doing well and some of us are doing not so well. And one of the things I hope that these talks do is kind of help us connect because whatever these people are experiencing, probably people in our church are experiencing on some degree. So wherever we are, I just want to encourage everyone, feel free to be as open and as transparent as you're comfortable with. So if you're doing great, let's praise with you and celebrate with you. But if you're having a hard time, let's be honest about it. This is not a church where we wear masks and it's not okay to not be okay. So in all honesty, the first couple of weeks as an introvert, I was like, this is so great. But this week has been hard. Like it's been a lot harder. So, not everyone's okay all the time. So that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. So that being said, if you guys wouldn't mind, let me start with the Herreras. I'm looking at how they come up on my screen once again. So if you guys want to go ahead and unmute, we're going to do like we did before. If you guys will introduce yourselves, just in case everybody watching doesn't know you yet. And then if you will kind of share what a typical day looked like a month ago compared to what it looks like now. I know that you guys definitely have had some big changes more recently. So go ahead, Luis and Lindsay.
So a month ago, I began training for my first half Ironman. My morning started at like 4:30. I would go for a swim. Some days I would run with Janice, and then I would work all day. And then I would pick Levi up from school. We would do homework. We would cook dinner. Luis and I would hang out. And I was in bed by 9 o'clock because I started over again the next day at 4:30. So that's how my days went. About 5 or 6 days a week. What about you?
My very basic is the same because I like staying home in the afternoons. Said that we play soccer on Thursdays and we do a couple meetings with Ali and our city group. More than that, I staying home and still do the same.
Yeah, he still works.
Still work. So my work time is no basic change except my community after work or any kind of plans for that and yeah.
And so I went from really focusing on myself and then Luis and Levi and hanging out with friends and living my best life. And God threw us a curveball.
Yeah.
Been a blessing.
A pretty cute curveball.
Yeah, so I'm going to lift her up. So Mosaic, this is our new baby girl. Say hi. Say hi.
Oh, she is adorable. Absolutely adorable. Do you want to share really quickly how she came to you guys?
Yes, Gabby is in the foster care system, and so she is our foster child. She came to us when she was 4 weeks old, straight from the NICU, and I know that God has like really taken this time and said, okay, Lindsay, this is what you guys are supposed to do. Like, you're not working. You can take care of an infant. She has respiratory issues. Levi had respiratory issues. So how I had to feed Levi and check his breathing when I fed him, it was kind of scary as a first-time mom. It was like riding a bike, and it wasn't scary with her because I felt prepared. I felt prepared by God. And so, and there's just been so many things like family, friends have just really stepped up, and it's been hard, but we haven't been able to see people. But the community is not always physical, and God has really exalted that through this time.
Awesome. All right. Well, I want to hear more about how you see God through all this. And we're going to go to the Obadinas next. Obadinas, if you would introduce yourselves and then give a typical day a month ago and what your typical days look like now.
So I'm Lanray Obadina, and
I'm Candace. Good evening.
Good evening. So glad to see your faces. I miss y'all.
Thank
I
you.
know, thanks. Yeah.
So our typical day would look like waking up in the morning, getting everybody ready for the day, heading out to our respective work or school locations, and then in the afternoon, rounding up, picking everybody up, coming home, eating dinner, and a bedtime routine. Pretty basic Saturday cleanups because we enjoy deep cleaning our home. And going to church on Sundays. And this moment, I guess since the beginning of the year, we had a pretty inconsistent schedule because of new work commitments. And so it's been pleasant, and we appreciate this season because it's given us time to really slow down and have more predictable schedule. And so I'll let Lonnie share how we approached what the new normal schedule would look like, and then I could probably share what that looks like.
Are we sharing that now? What we're doing now?
Yeah,
okay.
if you would, yeah.
Okay, so so we kind of centered our days. We figured out that if we can get dinner right, so if we get dinner in on time, then we'd go to bed on time, and then we'd get up early and have some kind of schedule around our lives. We kind of thrive when there's a schedule. So the temptation of this season is just to be your schedule to be off whack, and so we figured out dinner time is really important. And so that was our motivation to, we talked about it and set our dinners. One of the things that we've included just to our routine.
I don't think we're seeing it.
Oh, okay. Well, so anyway, that's what we do now.
So basically, we have decided to recalibrate, identify what's most important. So we have that axis in our wheel, and that's dinner for us. And if we can have dinner at the same time, the rest of the evening flows smoothly. So our schedule for now is still getting up, getting ready, but then going our separate ways with Lonnie in another room instead of at Rhodes. And then Aaron and I trying to figure out what school looks like. Some academics, going outside, being creative, and then coming together for dinner. And then we've been what's beautiful, that's why I wanted him to share, is because it was his vision, but he really said, what do we do well? Let's not let that go in this time. And so dinner, like, we have intentional conversations, and then I'm an idea generator. Sometimes I'm like, but we can do all of these new great things. And so what we decided was, let's stick with a consistent dinner and bedtime routine, but how can we enhance those? And then slowly roll out these great ideas since we have all this free time. And so we didn't dive right into academics. We slowly played games and bonded. And now we're adding a little by little. And with our dinners, instead of just eating and having good conversation, now we have time to have worship because there's no rush. We have time to memorize scripture and practice that at the dinner table and take time to pray. And so it's really been a time to root us. And it was, again, his idea to just say, what has to happen? We got to eat dinner together, and then come and bring my brain into it and say, and how can we make it awesome and beneficial for our family?
Yeah, I like how you describe it as kind of the axis in the wheel, like that one thing that kind of keeps, I don't know, it's like that grounding thing. So Lonray, you're a professor at Rhodes. So are you online teaching now? Students?
Yeah. Yes. We kind of moved all our classes, to everything's virtual now until So I'm teaching online. Yeah.
Okay. So had you ever taught online before? Or is this completely new?
It's completely new. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a new. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm getting ready to move to the Phillips, and we'll come back to the Obadinas in a little bit. Phillips, if you would, typical day then and now. And again, we're just doing this because people will probably relate to something you did before and probably relate to something that's the now. So you guys want to introduce yourselves and then give us the rundown?
And I'm Michael. We are the Phillipses. Or there's two more of the Phillipses that aren't here, but I mean they're here, but just not on the camera.
Yeah.
You want to do typical day?
Yeah. So normally we each would take a kid to a school, and then we would go to our work, and then after work go pick up that same kid from their aftercare, go home, eat dinner, and then who knows what else. But then, same thing over and over.
Mm-hmm. And usually, Michael, go ahead, Rebecca.
Yeah, I usually stay busy, like volunteer and then community group, stuff like usually. It was a lot more fast paced than what's happening now.
She would have meetings on like Tuesday nights were a night when she would have board meetings, or if I had to have something work related, we would try to move it to Tuesday nights. We tried not to do anything on Monday nights. Wednesday nights was community group. Thursday nights is the one night that I committed to my staff that I would stay late for programming. So we all went to Sukasa together on Thursday nights usually. Friday nights usually sometimes we would like order pizza, or we would just try and like stay home. We tried to be as low key as we could, but then sometimes there were work stuff on Friday night or like some other kind of like professional obligation or whatever. Saturdays are, I mean, I like to keep Saturdays busy personally. I'm one of those that like I'm up at as early as can be, getting the kids ready, making a big breakfast, and then we do ballet and soccer. And then if I'm, training for a race or something, I try to get gym time in so I can do like a long workout on Saturdays and do that sort of thing. And then Saturday afternoons would be mowing and or some sort of project in the house or what, so we
super full schedule.
Yeah, I always tell people the best thing I ever did in my week is the day that I gave up a 2-day weekend. As soon as I said that Saturday is not a day off, but a day on at home, my life got so much simpler. It's so much easier to say no to things on Sunday when I know that I can move that stuff to Saturday or to some other, So anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. But.
So now you guys are both working from home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So what's typical day like today?
Every day is a little different.
Yeah. Our story is a story of struggle. Let me be clear. We are not a family that has it all together.
Why don't we go ahead? Because the next question is going to be, what have you found that's been challenging? So, or what's hard? What are you struggling with? So just go ahead and move on into that, if you would.
Yeah, I feel like we're all living in like this M. Night Shyamalan movie, or it's kind of like in between The Happening and The Village. And I can't figure out which one it's closer to. But, yeah, we're just taking it day by day and not knowing. Like today, having a client conversation virtually, and at the very end, Felix having a meltdown and hitting the other computer. And we're in a small house, so it's not like I can just go find an appropriate room to have a work conversation in.
Right.
That's how it is. I have an office, but it's really a paint studio. It's not a real office.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And Michael's in school now, so that's the other thing. So his nights are taken up with academics.
She makes it sound so fancy.
His teacher loves it.
School is fancy. It is fancy. That's for fancy people.
So like for her story, right? Like she was in here. And then I was on the other side of the house on a call for work as well. So like we were both on calls. That hasn't happened too often. We've been pretty good about talking to each other, so that doesn't happen. But that happened. And I just poked my head around the corner and just saw like the computer screen and Felix's fist like going up and down, And like so I was, and so like I was just like, all right, it
is what it is.
It's happening, And so. But I mean, I would just, the illustration that I told Sarah earlier when we talked about all this is just that Mac Mail has this function, and I don't know what crazy person made it up or who uses it, where you can connect all of your like emails and create this inbox of like all of your email addresses into one inbox. And I was telling her, like, that's what my life feels like, is like all of my emails from I used to be able to like create my schedule in such a way that like work things were happening at this specific time. And even though like in my job having the flexibility to leave work and do this other thing, able to go out of the office, do that other thing, come back in, and me being able to keep track of like what hours were going where. And Monday nights we were home, I'm not doing anything else. I'm putting the phone in the bedroom and not looking at it from this period of time. But now like everything starts at somewhere between 5 and 7 in the morning, and it doesn't stop until 8, and all of it is happening all at the same time all day. Right. Work emails or like conference calls for Edie's school, or her having a conference call, or some sort of extracurricular thing, that I'm trying to schedule and try and get that in for Edie.
Right.
Or,
so chaos. It's like all coming at the same time. So where you had boundaries before, they're gone now. Yeah. Rebecca, let me ask.
Of a lack of boundaries. Everything. We have a small home where everything is interconnected, and our lives are now in this.
You hear everything, right?
Interconnected.
Yeah. So Rebecca, we were talking. I mentioned to Michael earlier, just talking about being an introvert, and I know you can relate to that. How has it kind of changed for you? Because you guys have been home about 3 weeks now, right? And did you kind of have an experience of where it was good at first and now maybe different? What are your thoughts on that?
No, it was never great, because it started off with us having family in town, and then by day 3, I nearly snapped, and I thought, this is only the 3rd day. I can't snap right now. So, it's been tough. And we don't, it's just little things. Like, we don't have a lock on our bathroom door. And so our kids, like, I don't even have the bathroom.
That is sad. That is sad. A closet, maybe, where you could just bar your feet in front of the door?
Maybe. Our kids are very open and needy.
Maybe if our church wants to go ahead and start issuing some words of encouragement, maybe they have some tips. If they any other introverts out there, they can put it on the chat on YouTube. Let's go over. We're going to go over to the Herreras, if we want to roll the R's. And what about you guys? What's kind of you? I mean, you're obviously your sleep schedule has changed, I think, from getting Gabby.
Yeah.
So what else has been challenging? Or
the hardest thing for me is, well, there's 2. The first one is trying to be a parent, or not trying, being a parent of 2, and feeling like I have to choose one child over another. I know that's not what I'm doing, but like Levi is, he's been thrown into this. He loved school. Like every day he woke up and he was excited to go to school, and he was learning so much. And so like I put all this pressure on myself to make sure that he was continuing that growth. I mean, he's in kindergarten. This is so foundational. But like, I also know that play is a really strong form of learning, and play is not my ministry. I don't know how to make things fun and engaging for lower, like primary age children. Give me middle schoolers and high schools kids all along, but these primary years. And so like I spent a lot of time like doing different research on things and trying to figure out like what would be best for him and how and then when we got Gabby, we were so excited, but then all of that, like I couldn't do. And then she has sensory issues, and so we can't go outside for long periods of time. Right. So I felt like I was having to keep Levi away from doing things. So that's been hard. And then just the fact that like I am an extrovert, and I love people, and usually a run will help me like be okay. But like this weekend I ran and I came back, and while I was running I was crying, and when I came home so like it wasn't working, and so my fear began to like take over me and say, this is what it's going to be like for a really, really long time. And so I just got to the point where I couldn't find joy in the blessing of being able to spend so much time with Levi and be a part of this learning experience with him, and being a mom to a newborn that needs me, and being able to support Luis in his business and figure things out more hands-on instead of saying, dude, you're gonna have to wait till I get off work kind of thing. And so that balance, and then the physical community not being there has just been really, really, really hard.
Yeah. Well, adding a newborn to your family can flip your life upside down. So adding that on top of this completely different daily life makes sense, right? Like, I think some of us feel like we shouldn't be having a hard time. And I like, even if you're doing well, even if things are good, like change can be stressful. It can be stressful. Even if, you're not having to worry about jobs and things, then, I'm rambling now, but Luis, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think the hard part for me is without the free life. Okay, I like staying home and I can put an earphone and listen music and my life will be completely fine. It's my decision.
Right.
I need to stay home out my decision.
Right.
It's like kind of cut my free life. Yeah, my freedom and the scare. It's scary new things for me sometimes because when I grow it in Mexico and me and my friend we kind of have a no crazy life. We go swimming in one of the big rivers when we years old without our parents. So we completely free, and now I feel scared to go out to work every day. And like today, I go to Lowe's. I need to go to Lowe's, and I need to pick one thing, and I go inside and I back, and when I go in the parking lot walking, everything coming to my mind, and I remember that one person that working there had the coronavirus, and the moment my body started hurt me, my head, and I need to switch and say no, your body get reaction because your mind play with you.
Yeah. It'd be really interesting to see how many people have either gotten a headache or had a cold and your first thought is, have I got it? So that's I think it's a totally reasonable fear. Obadinas, I'm getting ready to move to you. So if anybody wants, I'm curious if you would put in the chat if you have, as I had a fever about 2 weeks ago, and I was afraid, like I need to separate from my kids. Am I going to give it to my child? And so it makes sense, I think. We'll go to Lana and Candace and just asking, has there been anything that you've struggled with? You kind of alluded to finding that one thing to hold on to. Was there a struggle that led to that, or is there anything else that you're kind of finding difficult in all this?
So yes, a struggle led to it. I tend to be a researcher, and so I resonate with the Herreras, just spending that first week online for hours all night trying to think of how do I make this the best environment for my child. And so having that conversation helped cease that crazy research. But for us, we just gonna be real, y'all. We want to eat out. We miss our weekly something.
Yes,
So
yes, I'm so with you.
we typically eat out once a week, and we enjoy that, and we have got to do that. But the flip, I guess this is the hard things, but we're grateful for the amount of vegetables and plants that we've consumed, trying to keep our immune system up. So there's a bright side to it. But I definitely resonate with what was said about going to the store and feeling anxious. That is so real. Showers aren't as enjoyable. I was telling a friend that because when we come home, it's take off the clothes and jump in the shower.
Yeah.
Like anytime you go out, you just feel like you need to wash your body and cleanse yourself. And so it isn't this relaxing moment that you do once a day. It's every time you go out, you feel that way. And then I think for us as a family, what we discussed, we want to say was my sister works in a clinic in Indianapolis, and just as she's texting me every day, sharing her anxiety, I just, my excitement for this call was to have the moment to ask for you all to pray for Carmen Warren, who is my sister in need of prayer, because the fear is intensified when, if you're in a clinic, and everybody walking in with all types of situations. And so just pray for her mental peace and safety. I was, praying this morning, the plagues, we're reading through the Old Testament. I'm like, God, you shielded the Israelites from the plague. So can you shield Carmen? Well, she's a mother of 3 and an incredible human. And this is what she wanted for her life, to work in an emergency setting. But at this time, that's a really challenging field to be in. So please pray for my sister.
Yeah, we'll pray for Carmen. Lonray, did you want to add anything to the question about difficulties or challenges?
Perhaps the first week was a bit difficult for me, just because of having to switch the nature of my classes and my department, just moving, the labs online was really difficult. And so that was I felt it was a bit difficult on the family because it meant I was working longer hours. It was such an emergency. And so it was part of what actually pushed us to have a conversation about, well, what are we going to do given the new situation? How are we going to center ourselves and be able to have a meaningful schedule or rhythm through this time? And so, so the first week was difficult. Things have kind of slowed down a little bit, really this week, or mid last week to this week. And so that was my struggle for the most part.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so turning it to maybe a more, hopefully, well, let me not put a label on it yet. Looking at, so we just talked about challenges and struggles, and we'll stay with you guys, Obadinas. If you want us to move on, we can come back to you. But I'm going to combine some of our questions. Are you staying connected to God? If so, how? And then how, kind of similar to that, how is God teaching or speaking to you in this time?
Yeah.
Will come back to us. We have a 6-year-old here that needs attention. Come back to us.
Go for it. We will come back to you. All right, let's go to the Phillips then.
What I was sharing earlier is that honestly, it's been an incredible struggle spiritually. I used to, it wasn't great before, honestly. We were busy before, and so it wasn't great before, but there were these sort of moments that God would use that for me, at least, I know that I was able, our community group on Wednesday nights was a real strong time.
Right.
Our group is real gracious. They allowed me to come in at the end of my rope almost every Wednesday and just sort of just let it hang out. And I think that was really good. It was really good. And God really has used that time, but I used to, for example, I would like intentionally turn the radio off after I dropped off Felix. In between dropping off Felix on the way to work, I would make an intentional time of prayer, and maybe just not even like listening, maybe is a better word, just like letting God put on my heart or whatever was there, just let that happen. And so that was an intentional time that I would use. Even, whatever it may be. And so, but now, like all of those, none of those gaps or times exist anymore. And so I've really, and even, even sometimes like 5 minutes in the shower, it's too much to ask for these days, and so, And so it's been hard for me. I don't know. I mean, in fact, maybe you have had a different experience. I mean, and we honestly, I'm asking because we haven't even really talked about it. So I had a different experience, but I don't know.
We're each other all day, but our communication is still not the greatest.
I can relate to that.
Say that there are a couple of things that I do appreciate, and it's having more moments with the kids. That's been really doing like random art crafts with them and having longer reading time with them because we don't have to travel to go pick them up from school. We have that time to actually be with them, which is kind of cool. Yeah. And then there's always just the little things, and knowing that like the stuff that's happening is obviously it's all part of God's plan and control. And yesterday, I'm such a literal thinker person, but last night I just read a little bit from a book called Just My Type. I know it's nothing biblical, but it's about typography, and it was talking about the Bible, which was the very first printed book. And one, I want to see that, but two, it was just this reminder of like the Bible is documentation and it's real, and it's just those little that just kind of are reassuring.
Yeah. So I love it when God speaks to us in the little things like that. I was thinking about you talking about the type thing, and it just made me think about how, I don't know, just awareness of where we are can kind of help with our relationship with God. Because I feel like when we are candid and just say, this is where I am, I'm struggling, Lord. Like I feel like He will meet us there, and if we ask Him to help us, I think He will. So thanks for sharing that, guys. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that one?
Just taking it day by day.
Yeah. All right, let's go over to the Herreras next. And you guys, how is God teaching or speaking to you? I feel like, Lindsay, we already kind of talked a little bit about how God kind of orchestrated things perfectly for Gabby to come into your family. But what else could you guys add, maybe?
I'll just say that, like, even down to my job, when I'm at work, it's pretty demanding. It's nice that I don't have to bring a lot home, but God has shown me that I was very judgmental of stay-at-home moms and people that worked part-time, because I was just like, oh, they have all this free time, da 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 da, and I'm like, oh, sis, let me go back to work. It's like calling to be home all the time and be on, and not like snap at a newborn that won't stop screaming, or when I say snap, I mean like yell, or yell at Levi, and he's just asking a question, or he's being a typical rowdy 6-year-old boy, and that's how he's been for 6 years, and now we have a newborn, and it's like, no, you have to be quiet, she's sleeping. And so it's just, and then it's real different going from one child to 2 children. I'm like, you got 2 hands. What's big deal. So like, you folks that have more than 2, like y'all have zone defense. Like you don't go hand to man on that. And I have so much respect for you guys. It's just been really different, and the conviction has been good. But I've just been humbled so much by like how God's timing is perfect. Yeah. And I was listening to a sermon a couple of days ago, and it was obviously about the virus, and it referred, can't remember what text they were going to, but it was about in Matthew about how the disciples were so scared when they were at the boat, and he was asked why they had such little faith. And that his power, he made the waves stop, and he ceased the storm. And I know that, but what my fear is not knowing when. And since God is capable of stopping, there will be to this. This is not going to last forever.
Right.
For me, like that has given me, for the past few days, a sense of peace, to know that this isn't going to be a groundhog. I don't know if y'all seen that movie Groundhog's Day, where they same thing over and over and over again, because I was really getting anxious about that, like, oh my God. But yeah, that this is going to end. It's not going to be on Lindsay's schedule. It'll be in God's time, and everything will work for the good of His kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Luis, you want to add anything? What God's teaching you or speaking to you through this?
Yeah, I think about control my time, control my money, family time. I remember the first Monday this year, I talked with Lindsay and I say, this year coming, we not go to Mexico. I buy the equipment for my company this year, so
nicer equipment.
Yeah. We buy a bike for Lindsay. We buy a little camper.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money.
Well, yeah, and the point is that I'm telling Lindsay, next year for this month, we will have a good savings because everything these expenses we don't have it for next year, and I'm not remember the pray for that. I'm not sit down and asking God, you go bless me with what you go bless me with life, or what you want for my life, and now I'm here. We don't know if our company go survive. We don't know when this go stop. We don't know.
Gonna keep her job.
Lindsay go keep a job or anything. We trash on the control when God only have the control.
Right.
Say, well, you the owner that this world and our life. You create everything, and I'm thinking God teaching me a lot for pray for new plans, new dreams in our life. The putting Him in the front and not say, Luis can do this, Luis, you can do that.
Right. So kind of like what Martonius was saying last week about the control being taken away, but I appreciate what you're saying too about just remembering to pray. I think sometimes we start thinking about things so much that we forget to ask God to be in that situation as well. Candace and Lon Ray getting ready to come over to you guys. So yeah, Luis, thank you for that reminder. Like, whatever we're dwelling on, whatever's kind of sticking around in our minds, maybe that's the thing we need to remember to bring to God. All right, Candace and Lon Ray, how is God teaching, speaking to you in all this?
Yeah, for us, I think this year Candace and I started doing the Bible project. We like that because it's the chronological reading of the Bible through the year. We like that because they have these videos that they would post that kind of summarizes the book or the chapter reading.
I love them.
Yeah, and for me, I've been trying to read through the Bible for like 3 years. Haven't made that happen yet. Right around Leviticus and Numbers, everything becomes hazy and fuzzy to me.
Yes.
But the Bible project has really helped me through going through all of that, and so that has really helped both of us. Because what has happened is now with the more time that we're having conversations about what we're reading, and that's kind of just encouraging us to keep going on. Until,
Numbers is a good. I like numbers.
Do you?
I never thought I'd say that, but God is type A in a sense, because if you read the beginning of Numbers, it's very detailed, and
yes,
those who are type A understand. But Ariana, we did ask her what she would want to say in relation to this, and she said pray and worship. That would be her encouragement. That's what she's been doing, and that's what she would encourage the body to do. So that's her word.
Good word, Ariana.
Good word, right? Good word.
Yeah.
And then for me, we have been reading chronologically, and then at the same time, I have been just slowly enjoying this incredible book called The Gospel of Ruth. Oh my goodness.
We've talked about this one.
Phrase sounds so familiar if you were in Sunday. And so this has been a gem and a joy. And so I just wanted to take this moment and say, if you guys are still meeting in small groups, this would be a great guide. There are discussion questions for each chapter. The first chapter is called God at Ground Zero. So maybe Ali's reading this book. I don't know, but maybe, I don't know. He didn't mention it in his sermon. But it is a really good, just for me, it's been incredible to walk through with these beautiful women, Ruth and Naomi, and how God, it's just like the Bible Project, just slowing down, taking time to really see the subtle beauty in the scriptures has been so life-giving and really made my faith come alive. And so definitely recommend this read. I read it years ago, loved it. It was timely during a time of a lot of hardship, and again even now it's very timely, and you can relate to Naomi as we're all kind of going through our own just challenges in this season. So we share
the author for that in case other people are interested. I don't know if we could see it.
It's Carolyn Custis James, and it's called Gospel of Ruth. You can buy it on Amazon.
Nice. Maybe they'll give you a little commission now. All right, we're getting ready to go back around to wrap things up, guys. If you would all be thinking, if you could do one word, one thing you're thankful for. And I think that, with Aaron and I, it just makes me think how often have I been in children's church and God has just it's such a simple truth. It's such a simple truth. Because we teach it to the kids, but we as grown-ups need to hear that, just keep forgetting. And so what did she say? She said prayer and worship, right?
That's it.
I think it's a good thing. All right. Let's go to the Herreras first. One word of something you're grateful for in this season.
Oh, I'm a wordy person, so one word is just so hard.
I'll give you grace. You can use a phrase.
Okay. I am thankful for community, thankful for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Community and forgiveness.
Those are good. And if you'll be putting your things that you're grateful for on the chat as well, I think that would definitely bless us as well. Luis, what's your thing you're grateful for?
I want to thank for our shadow.
Oh yeah, you do that.
Lindsay and me, we did this book. Also, it's in Spanish. And it's in English. What's the name?
I forget. New Morning Mercies. It's about
New Morning Mercies.
Yeah. It's a devotional that we do most every day. And I invited to Mosaic people they found a safe moment for share it with you. Wife, with your husband, brother, friends, anything. This moment that you connect with God, they can come and say, I feel scared, I'm mad, I'm sad. You can hear your wife or any person next to you, the feelings. Because hey, I come home and I have a very bad day, but when I'm coming up in the door, Lindsay told me I have an stressed out day. So I'm saving what I feel, but we found this book, this moment that we feel free and we put everything in God. And I'm thankful for this moment. And I invited the people, maybe this book help for somebody or something more, but you need to
Yeah.
find a moment that you need to get out this pressure in your life.
All right. What's the name and the author again?
It is New Morning Mercies by Tripp.
Tripp. All right. Thanks for sharing, guys. Let's go to the Phillips. Your gratitude.
I'm thankful. I'm going to say time, because even though it's still busy, it feels like time's slowed down a little bit, and it's been kind of nice.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I complained about it before, this grad school program that I'm in started the first week of March when the coronavirus started, or at least in the U.S. anyway. And so I've been cursing it under my breath a little bit, but at the same time, when I think about it, I've had a lot more flexibility in being able to deal with those things in my schedule. I mean, there's not less things to do, but when I do it and being able to be available for conference calls and all those sorts of things and doing all of that has been, it's been a good time to like be able to create concrete real time for that. It's been like, 15, 16, oh geez, maybe more than that. A long time since I've been in school. And so like recreating a school schedule has been new for me. And so,
yeah,
but this has been, the whole schedule got blown up. So it's easy to stick it in.
Well, all those boundaries blurring together, just as it comes up, right? All right, let's go back to Candace and Lanre. Your words of gratitude.
I will go.
Yeah, go.
Connection is my word.
And for me, maybe I would say presence. Just being able to be, to learn to be present, because I'm physically present. I need to have my mind present as well. So I'm thankful for God leading me in that way. Yes.
That's good. I could use that one too. All right. As we get ready to come to an end, we'll kick it back over to Ali. Ali and Annetta, I'd like to hear y'all's words of gratitude as well, if you're willing to share. I don't think they were expecting that. You're muted. Good. Annetta. Yeah. Yep. Are you grateful for the talking devices in your kitchen yet, or is that still on the outs for you? Yes. But she doesn't understand a Polish accent from what I hear. All right, I'm in the dark again. I guess that means our time is up. Would somebody want to pray for our church? I just want to pray for everybody who might be listening, all our members of the body. Is anybody willing to volunteer for that? You can just unmute if you want to. No pressure, though. I will pray. Love you all. Holy Father, thank you so much for this time, and thank you for technology, and thank you for our friends who aren't on the screen but who are watching through YouTube right now. I thank you for these brothers and sisters in Christ that you've given us. I pray, Father, that the conversations we've had tonight are a blessing to everyone, Father. I know I've been encouraged. It's so good to see faces that we haven't gotten to see in a while. And so we thank you for this opportunity. I pray, Father, that for those of us who are scared, Lord, give us courage. I pray for those of us who are in a spiritually dry spot, Lord, I pray that you send rain. Lord, give us the desire to be in your word, to pursue you as you pursue us. And I thank you, God, that you are here with us no matter what we're feeling, Lord, that your presence is not based on our emotions. You are the great I am. And we thank you, Father, that we can trust in that no matter what's happening. Lord, give us courage, give us wisdom as we go through our weeks. And for those of us who are having to adjust our living situations, I pray that you give us inspiration, Father. Thank you, God, for your goodness to us. It's in Jesus' holy name I pray. Amen. All right, Ali, is there anything else we need to speak about? Sounds good. Bye.